Hello everyone and welcome. We're back on Opus Magnum and we've got 2 left. And in the story. So we're going to go straight in. Oh, hello. We have got a thread to make. Now, this looks more complicated than you would think, because all of the middle rows are not actually connected, but we're going to go down the V shape is what we need. Now, as like before, this is going to be sped up so that we can skip all the nonsense. Plus, because it takes me a little bit longer now, they're a little bit tougher than they used to be. So this way you're not watching me trying to kind of mess around with bits and pieces. It's a little bit quicker. So basically, we have a row of salt right the way down the middle. And then we have an element that has to be upgraded on top and bottom sides. Now, we basically check. The first thing you do always is just check to make sure what we need and how we need it. So you can see there, it's 2 to get to where we need. And then obviously we have 1 salt maker. So that is repeated, and there is our turny thing. So we give it a try, and nope, immediately wrong. So we change it straight away to there. And there it was. You can see it there, top and bottom, and the salt. So we have everything we need. We now need to make a V, because what we need to do is what that shape is there, the 2 salt in the middle and the 2 elements on the top and bottom will connect on the left hand side ball. So we need to make that shape there. Now, it will involve moving some of the arms around. But you'll see that. You'll see that as we move along. To start with, I decide, you know what, I'm actually going to leave everything as close, as far away as I can, because I can extend or detract these at a later date. Right, so we've already got a bit, but if we spin that round, we can still attach a second element to it, so we can have the arm already. It's surprising how quickly it comes together. As I'm slowly doing it, it suddenly just appears that we work bits out. So we're going to repeat the process there and again, because we need a second one. Alright, so you'll see what I mean. If you didn't notice what I said. Oh, you see that? Almost. One more. Whoom, there we go. And now, if we stick the other one to there, we have ourselves our line. That's the line that we need. The only thing that is going to be a bit of a problem is the distance that we need in order to make the process work. There it is, we've got the arm. So we only need one more thing, which is the salt on the left. And obviously the salt comes from arm 1. So what we can do is twist using arm 3 and then redo the salt in arm 1. You see, you'll see it in a minute. Now, what I try to do personally is I try to make it so that, there you go, look at that, we have it. That is it. That is the bit we're looking for. It is exactly what we need. Now, what we have to do now is we have to attach it, because it has to now connect to the next element. So the plan will be move it across using the arm that's already gripping it, and then just drop it down. So that as you move the second piece, and so on and so on, it will link up using the second connector that I've placed and move with the rest of it. So it will continually pick up the next bit and then pick up the next bit, so that it's making the continuous strand that we need. So we're almost there. We just need to use that part there in order to connect these bits up. Now, doesn't work. It doesn't work because it's too close. So we have to move everything out by 1 and hope that that all works. You see, basically we're trying to do it, but the elements are just too close. Now, going back to what I was saying earlier, essentially what I like to do is I try to have it so that the time might take a bit of a long time, but the cost and the area are the best I can do them. Like I said in the previous episodes of this, it's almost impossible to have very good on all 3 check marks. Almost impossible. You may be wondering what the hell happened there. Basically, I tried to rotate everything the other way so that it didn't collide. And you can't do that because it goes the wrong way. So you see, I've now got it spinning to the left rather than to the right, so that it doesn't collide. I think that's okay. It's not okay. You'll see why in a minute. So we make the second one, bang, and it collides. Still too far. Still not far enough. So what we're now going to have to do is move out 1 more. I really didn't want to, because it's extending the area to a size that I don't think is going to be acceptable. There you go. You see that? It now connects it to the bottom and moves it across. So I decide what I'm now going to do is move everything in a little bit closer. I need to try and make the area better, mainly because the area is terrible currently. Then I realised I moved the wrong bit, and it was stupid of me because I've messed it all up a little bit. There we go. Now I can move that down to there because that'll be the right effect for it. And now we play. There's one, and you'll see as it sweeps along, it connects and moves the whole lot along. I'm now going to try and move this up, because you know what? That makes it even better as spaced. I could probably do something with arm 2 as well, if we're being honest. I have a feeling that that probably would have been easier. And then I've realised that I've actually got to spin it the right way. Because obviously my problem was, as I decided to spin it the other way to try and clear out the space, but then I had to move it anyway. I make a mistake here because I rotate it the wrong way, which is stupid. I wasn't thinking, don't even get me started. There you go, you see, look, I'm not turning them into salt now. They have to go the other way. I was wrong. There. And now you see I've gone back to normal speed. That means I've done it. So this was the speed that I was playing the game at. And then it sweeps and it goes along. And there we go. It looks lovely. And you see, this is an example of breaking down what it's asking you to do into pieces and then putting those pieces together at the end. Because sometimes you can't really work it out because it looks like it's asking you to do too much. But there we go. And you see, look, the cost is incredibly high. The area is almost perfectly dead on. Cycles are a little bit long, but like I said earlier on, it's the cycles I'm kind of ignoring. The area I like, I'm trying to get that dead on, and the cost. The cost is fantastic. So I got dead on area and cost. Cycles we'll just have to do later. Now, basically, as far as the story goes, we're still trying to get bits ready because we are trying to rob some lead so that we can make a bunch of gold. It was our lead to start with. And we just made some very dark thread, which I'm sure we're probably going to wear. And the last one, before the heist, is the life sensing potion. Now, that will be... I haven't read... Look, I have read it to some extent. As you can see, I've read it. But basically, it's either for us so that we don't get sensed, or it's for them so that we can sense them. Now, we need to make a complete circle. And as you may have just noticed, we have something new. Now, this is incredibly sped up, because I thought I had a fantastic idea, and it was so wrong. So, alright, now, obviously, as you can see, it's a circle. And basically, the new system that we have is this new thing in the middle here. You put 2 salts in the left and right, and it gives you a brand new 2 elements, like a positive and a negative. And they're the 2 that we need in the circle. As you can see, there's one at the top and one at the bottom there. So I come up with this idea. I'm going to use arm 1, and what I'm going to do is I am going to create it whilst spinning around myself. You see, look, I've made 2 there. So if I grab it with arm 1 and spin it around, there you go. And now if I continue to spin it, I need to pick up the second part. I was so clever with this. I thought I was being so smart and clever. See, look, I've got an extra part. Now it's just adding the salts on. Oh, one more connection. And there it is. Look at that. We made the circle. I have no way of getting it off the fucking arm. It's stuck on the arm. What can I do? It won't move. Because if I try and move it in any direction, it will collide with the arm. So here we go again. Ignore that entire section. I was going to cut the whole thing out, but I thought I would show my embarrassment. And my idea now, realising that I can't do it that way, is to do what I've just said about the previous one. I'm going to split this up. Now, as you can see, it's a circle. But if you divide that product completely down the centre, you've got 2 salts and let's call it a negative, and on the right hand side you've got the positive and 2 salts. They are in the shape of the multi-connector. So if we make it in 2 halves, as you can see, it's in the shape of that there. That fitted perfectly in line with me saying that. So if I make both halves and then link the 2 halves up, that will then give us the shapes that we need. And there's the positive and the negative. I'm only going to use one arm to put both salts on, because then that arm is done, essentially. It puts the far away salt, then the nearer salt, and then we get the positive and the negative. We will need a second salt creator, but as you can see in the top, of the screen, we do have 2 more elements that we can use. 1, 2, there, get that. See, there's that there. Now this part is already in the shape that we need for the right hand side. So we need to place the 2 salts on the bottom part now. Whilst it's making all the top bits and pieces, we need to essentially create and making a freeway track costs 15 gold, I'm assuming the G is, whereas another arm is 20 gold. So I'm saving myself some money using a 3-part track than using another arm. And that's my plan is, I'm going to have the arm up the top, number 3, make the plus and minus. I'm then going to have arm 2. Whilst it's doing that, arm 2 will place the salts on the top, on the middle and the bottom. Then it can collect the plus and stick the plus on top. And then that's the first half of the circle complete. So you're just making sure that everything does its need. There you go. Whoop. Oh, you see I didn't let it go. That was silly. 1, 2. Grab it. There it is. Look at that. Done. I've done the first half. Now, I personally like to work all this out in my head. So there's a lot of times when you'll see I'll be adding elements to the thing, where I'm essentially adding elements to the bars, but I'm not really making things move because it's all going on in my head, is essentially how I do it. 3. Okay, and you see now I'm using this arm to move it across. You'll understand why in a minute. I don't want to move any more arms that I've already got, and it's just going to cause more problems. So I need to move this arm here. I'm a bit silly, but I'm like, I don't know how many I need. I do need to connect it at the top. I do also have to connect it at the bottom as well, and I can't work out how to twist it, so I will add a second connector at the bottom. I tried to do it that close, thinking that might work. And then I'm going to reset the arms. Boof, there we go. So that's in place. The plan now is to make the second one, the second half, and to spin it around the center. Now the minus ball is out of reach. I can't get it from where I am. So what my plan is now, I've decided I'm going to move arm 3 across one, and then I can place the minus where the plus is. It'll all make sense. You just watch. It'll all make sense. You'll see. Because arm 3 is pretty much dormant the whole time everything else is working. So if I'm going to use it to do something, then I'm not wasting time. Oh, you see, I was going too fast. It's going to place this before I've even tried to pick up the other arm. So I need to move it to there so it's all in time. I can get rid of this. I was being stupid. I don't need it to be that far. There you go. See that? And now it's ready to be taken. That is ready to go. Now, the problem I have, as you will see shortly, is I misunderstand the direction that everything needs to be in. The whole twisting it is where I mess up. But I find out eventually. It takes me longer than I'm happy to admit. So I basically now decide that what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the salts first. And then I'm going to go up and grab the extra element that we need. Because that's probably the best way round to do it. You see, watching this back now, I could probably have used an extending arm at number 1 to make the bottom salt there. But like I said to you, I like to try and work it all out in my head. So that's essentially what I've done here. I think if I was playing it as I was going along, which is something I might do in the future, these are getting harder. It was just a complete mess. It was an absolute mess. And it's because I didn't grab the ball at the very start. That helps. Right, so we have the first half is fine. Okay, so that's grabbed it and it's placed it. See, I move it before... So basically, I've realised that I'm going to need to save it at the bottom. I need to connect it underneath, and I hadn't taken that into account up to that point. And my plan now is to work it all out to move the whole thing across. See, there's 1. There's 2. And you see, I tried to rotate it, but it connected because it was too close. So now I know I need to extend it that little bit further. But something else has actually entered into my brain. In a minute it does. 1, 2, 3. Not quite all the way. One more twist. There you go. But I realise that I've done it wrong. Because if I make sure that it grabs the middle, you see, there you go, it works. I've done it. Yay! But they're the wrong way. Twisting it has completely messed with my head. Because the minus, the black one, I put it in the bottom because that's where I see it in the bottom. But it doesn't have to be in the bottom, it's got to be in the top because I'm twisting it and I still haven't worked that out yet. I wish I could tell myself because I look silly. See, it won't go. Because I've just realised that those are the wrong way around. And I have to completely re-erect them all now. I need to change them all completely. So, what I need to do is I need to rearrange the second half. And I need to have it so that the minus, the black element, is at the top rather than at the bottom. But what I also realise is if I finish with the middle salt, I won't have to re-amend myself to grab hold of the middle one like I was doing before. I can just place the middle salt, then spin it round. Look, explaining this doesn't make a lot of sense when I'm not there so you basically you cannot see my arms flailing around, which they are doing as I'm explaining. They're pointing at the screen, and I know you can't see what I'm pointing at, but I'm pointing at it, I promise you. shift everything up a bit so I can try and work out. And then I realise it's got to be the other way round. So I'm now getting it all ready, and I'm setting it up for the middle. So I basically do the bottom salt, first. There's the bottom salt first. Then I'm going to go up and grab the element that we need. Then I'm going to do the bottom salt. So, see, there you go. Rearranging everything, making it all look nice. I'm going to have to, there you go. So the first one's done, we know that, sorted. 1, 2, 3, it's ready to go. So I can now go stick you there. I don't need that, and I don't need that, so I can just do you there. There it is. Now I can move all this up. There's that. And basically I want to see where it goes. Because I need to move it along. Boom. Done. You see that? It connected and went straight in. That is pretty much everything I believe that we need. I stick that there just for the fun of it. And here we go. This is the regular speed. So this is the end of it. There's the first half. You see, I wish the game ran at that speed. It's so slow. There you go. That is what we needed. And now we can essentially give everything that we have made to our criminal, and he can go and get us some lead so that we can make some gold and move on to the next chapter. I love these kind of puzzle games. I really do. I thrive off of mental puzzles. And there we go. Look at that. The cost is even better than the average. Area is exactly average. Takes a lot longer, but I'm still happy with that. The only time I won't be happy with the cycle amount is if it's 0, if no one else has done it. Probably up towards like the 600 mark, but I think that would be ridiculous if it got that far. Okay, so we now have to give our guy everything that we've made, and let's see what's going to happen here. Looks like it's time for me to go. Good luck. You'll know I succeeded when a barge of lead floats down the river. And I'll send instructions detailing where to send my share. You won't be returning here? No, I'm afraid I can't stay. So do you finally trust us? A funny thing about that. When I first found the two of you hiding out in your abandoned shop, my first force was to cut you down where you slept. Sell your personal effects? Oh gosh. I'm just kidding. I would only have collected a pittance for your mediocre clothes anyway. I expect a more touching story couldn't be written. Travel safe, Niles. We'll be here for the time being. I'm sure we'll run into each other again. Ooh. And there's a decoded message. Alright, so... they're quite capable. Dare say the best of this type I've seen, in fact. Trustworthiness. They'll likely stick to a deal built around shared aims, but they're not the types to develop blind loyalty. Why not meet them yourself? They're held up in an abandoned shop along the river. Oh, okay. So he was testing us for someone else, was he? Right, okay. Well, that is where I will end it for this time. I do so much love this game. It's so much fun. It really is. So, please like and subscribe. Please take a look at what else I'm doing by clicking on the links on screen. And I will see you again next time.